This Mother Divine course, which will start next Sunday, 23rd of September, same time. And we will meet every Sunday then until Sunday, October 14th, and we will land right in the middle of Navaratri Festival, the festival to honor the Divine Mother in all her forms, and yes, also the divine in yourself, the divine feminine in yourself, and also the formless aspect, which we will elaborate on a bit more very soon, also during the session. So it's about worshiping and celebrating Durga, Lakshmi, and Saraswati, and they have a lot to offer. So, but before we share our mission statement with you, and we share with you the outline, what you can expect over the next couple of weeks, we like to invite everybody into the energy of this wonderful group today. And as most of you know, Kaleshwar University is about collaboration, sharing knowledge and co-creating the wisdom together. So join us and let's have a quick round of introduction based on 3 questions. So everybody kindly say their name, where your feet currently touch the ground, and what is the one thing, if you join us for the course, you want to take away from this program? So those 3 things in a very quick round of introduction. And I'm happy to start. So my name is Gunhild, and my feet touch the ground currently in Switzerland. And I would really take away this a fully engaged group to create a living Sri Kaleshwar University community from this program, a learning community, because we are all rich of experience and knowledge already, insights, and a lot of questions, which are all worth sharing. So last but not least, I love to see a lot of joy. So that's about me, and maybe somebody else just wants to move on. From a technical perspective, if you want to unmute yourself, on the computer, there is the button on the lower left side in this black field, which says mute, unmute, or stop or start video. And if you're on the phone, it's *6. So as we are not so many people, anybody who loves to start just kicks it off. So floor is open.
Hello, I'll start. My name's Tamara, and
Hi.
my feet currently touch the ground in Fullerton, Orange County, California, and I hope to gain a greater understanding of the mother and her play with this program. That's all. I'm really happy to be here with you all today.
Thank you so much. That raises the bar. Thank you for sharing this. Who is next?
Okay, I'll go.
People watching there in Santa Monica. Prasad first. I'm here to get a smile out of Jeff Bogart, see if I can get him laughing and chuckling. Ooh, mission accomplished. Cool. I like it.
Hi, Val. How are you doing?
Oh, no, you didn't. Good to see you, brother. And I got a lovely young lady next to me also.
I'm Dara, and I'm also in Santa Monica, I think. And I want to love Mother even more.
It might be me, but if you can speak up, that would be really great to understand you. But it's a technical thing. If you just get closer to the mic.
Okay, yeah, Dara, and I just want to love Mother even more.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks for sharing. Just unmute yourself and move on.
I can go. My name's Kasiki. Hi, Val. And I think in working and preparing for this course, it helps to clarify or deepen my understanding of this divine feminine aspect, both within inside myself as well as, you know, how it's playing out in the world, and how we can, by changing some of our patterns, start helping to shift and transform what's on the planet. So I'm looking forward to working together so that we can all, you know, from a collaborative point of view, start taking a real deep look at that, so that we can start helping others, as well as, you know, what's going on right now in this shift that we're in. So a deepening understanding, and hopefully it would be lovely, as always, to see the mother in whatever form she decides to come to us.
Thank you, Kazuki, for sharing this. Who's next?
I'll go next. So I'm Jeff Bogart. I'm currently residing in San Jose, California. And what I would like out of this for me is I would like to experience more of the sharing with my community. I have a need, especially since Kaleshwar has left his body, that I don't feel like we get together with our community very much. And so I'm just looking forward to being with everybody and sharing our thoughts on whatever we want to. Just being together that's a lot for me.
Well, thanks, Jeff. So you will combine like the online activities also maybe with offline activities, because you can engage with the community in different ways. Okay, who's next?
I'll go. I'm Lisa, and I'm in Venice, and I pretty much can echo most of the thoughts of the people who have already gone. And hi, Prasad, I miss you. You've been on my mind. So I just want a deeper understanding as a mother, the role that she plays in our lives, and the role that she plays in this world, and the connection, the Shiva Shakti connection. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Nice to meet you. And when you say Venice, it's not the European Venice, I guess, huh?
No, it's the U.S. Venice.
Yeah, because otherwise you wouldn't be so far away from me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa. Who is next?
I'll go. This is Andrea Williamson, and my feet currently are in San Luis Obispo, California, and there's a lot going on here. There's a fire on the hillside to my left, so there's a lot of airplanes making noises, so I have to open and shut the door of the little hotel. And at 1 o'clock today, I'm picking up a puppy, which I'm really excited about. So I'm sharing a little personal thing. But what do I want to take away from this course? I agree with what everybody said so far, the sense of community, the sense of a deeper understanding of the mother. And one thing I'd like to add to that is collectively, together engaging and collaborating to share a transformation of how we connect with her and her reflection towards us and our reflection towards her, and transform that and bring it, take it up a notch, take away some of those zeros that are between myself and the one. That's what I'd like to, I'd be very happy if together we could go there with her grace.
Thanks, Andrea. That sounds really beautiful. And we have a nice collection already. Wow, Mother must hear us right now. You know, we are really connecting with her through, you know, that what we want to see happening. Who's next? We have some people on the phones already. Feel free
No,
to join,
I
and
can
also
go.
some people on the videos, huh?
Helmut.
Okay, good. Helmut.
Okay, my name is Helmut. Yes, I'm in Munich at home. My home is Munich. Now I'm on tour the nature outside. It's a little loud here, so and connection is not very stable, so I don't understand you very well. But the reason why I'm here is I like to be with you and with the knowledge and to rise the energy. That's why I'm here now. Thank you.
Thanks, Helmut, for sharing. So
Helmut,
you also
Helmut is
advantage on the nature. Paul, go ahead.
Helmut, is Claudia with you?
No, Claudia is not with me. I'm on a motorcycle.
Ah.
Private thing.
Okay, send our love to Claudia.
Yeah, please.
Yes, I do.
Aha.
It's not Claudia's thing to be on a motorcycle.
You have the real Zoom.
Okay, Paul, why don't you just move on then, as you commented nicely.
Great. So hi everybody, this is Paul.
You speak up.
Hi everybody, this is Paul, and I'm calling you from Los Angeles, California. I decided to be out in the nature today because the nature for me embodies the mother's vibrations, her consciousness, and her beauty. So, you know, for this course, I really didn't have any expectations, but like everybody else, there's this deep-seated desire to have a communion or a union with mother energy, you know, to be able to manifest that relationship at a more strong and powerful way. And I think everybody has that same desire, you know, to be able to converse and communicate and to be able to share, you know, and to ask questions and to get answers. You know, Swami Kaleshwar used to say that, you know, spirituality is like a triangle. On one point, you have the student, and the other point, you have the master, and on the other point, you have the mother. And it's this constant relationship that evolves. And I used to, you know, witness Swami Kaleshwar many times in communion or communicating, you know, with this divine mother aspect. And it just intrigued me. And so to be able to get to that same level where there is a meditation or there is a, you know, we call it the Mother Divine Zone, you know, where the energy is flowing and you can really decipher and understand what she's trying to do, you know, and like what Tamara said, to understand her illusions. And Swami said very clearly, he said, she will test you. She will wash you, she will dry you, and then she'll take an ironing board and iron you. So it's shifting that understanding that that relationship is already there. We just, when she starts really coming in very strongly and things start happening, how should I say, the testings, you know, the challenges that come up. If you look, you know, I'm beginning to feel that if you look beyond the test in the moment and you look beyond the reaction that we have, you can actually start to see the mother behind those situations. And so this is a journey, you know, like we discussed, Gunhild, you know, and Andrea and Jeff and Kausaki, this is a journey. discovering, you know, and it's discovering that that relationship is constantly going on. We just have to fine tune. And so I'm looking forward to this course and fine tuning our relationship. And the most amazing thing was in our discussion, we really found the feminine. What's going to happen is the divine masculine is going to be right there. Just like when you focus on the divine masculine, it's the divine feminine that kind of raises up at the same time. You can't raise one without the other. And so, you know, we discovered as a group that that the true empowerment is to see that both are happening simultaneously, and that this mother person that sits there and judges us a vibration.
Paul, you're breaking up.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. It's just like when you're on this
Your connection is not happening, Paul.
Yeah.
taking out the audio.
Maybe before you move
Can you hear
on,
me now?
maybe in the meantime, we have somebody else introducing him or herself. We are missing, I think, 3 people, 2 on the phone, and also Martin. Martin, why don't you move on?
Okay, I can do.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
my name is Martin. Right now I'm residing in Germany, somewhere in the pretty much middle of Germany. One focus or one idea I got by hearing you guys talking about what would be the item I would want to take out of this course. Well, stretching it a little bit, let's regard Mother is the body and the embodiment of all universes. And to bring it a little bit more condensed, she definitely is the body of this planet. Mm-hmm. And we all enjoy, some of us, the beautiful nature, like Paul and others, me too, sitting outside. And others, they do have to sit in Hong Kong right now, right? Or have to face Mr. Florence at the East Coast of the US. So we see the different aspects of Mother already if we have just a little look around the globe. And one aspect I want to enforce, or I want to appreciate that we work on, is that collective and collaborative approach of, well, let's trying to communicate her. Maybe we can calm her down a little bit, or we can, communicate with her that the distractions and other things and destroyment of her might be less, or whatever the common goals will come out of this group. I don't know yet, but really actively communicating and trying to get a relationship, being in touch with her. That is one of the goals.
Thank you for sharing, Martin. So there are 2, if I'm not mistaken, Jeff, help me, because I might not see everybody here on my screen. Just one person on the phone unmuted her or himself with the end number 8748. Maybe you just move on.
This is Ramya. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. And I'm so happy to be involved in this conference call. And especially, I'd just like to say, especially with Swami being out of the body, I didn't have that much time with Swami. I mean, I was fortunate to have the time that I did, but having the senior students together and have Swami's words come out that he spoke and taught about the mother, it's such a huge blessing. And that's in particular while I'm on the calls, is just to, to be in Swami's presence and be in the presence of Swami's teachings about the mother, whatever they may be, and of course, this is a crucial time, you know, because this is the Kali Yuga with so many negative things happening. And of course, Swami told us it's our role to, you know, help heal the world. So just by having what Swami's words come through the teachers, by pulling together as a group, it's a huge blessing, and I'm so thankful.
Oh, thanks so much for sharing. So,
In the ground.
I don't know who started talking.
Rami, it's Prasad. I asked where your feet are touching the ground currently.
We just got a message from Kay. She says, I can't really speak up. I'm in a restaurant using the internet connection better than my library. I can see all who are showing. I love hearing perspectives of Swami students and teachers. I want to deepen my connection to Mom and see if I can learn to navigate. I've been
Paul, you're still breaking up, so I'll read her comment, okay? Kay says, I can't really speak up. I'm in a restaurant using the internet connection better than my library. I can see all who are showing. I love hearing perspective of Swami students and teachers. I want to deepen my connection to the mother and see if I can learn to navigate the illusions better. I'm in Westchester, Ohio. I've been a student for 1 year, 9 months. Grateful to everyone for undertaking this course and all participants. I like that comment I just heard about better communicating with her. Thank you, Kay.
So is anybody else missing, or is it all now? I think we're
I think we've heard from everybody, yeah?
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for sharing. And what I learned is that there are so many different aspects we can go for when it comes to understanding the mother. It starts within ourselves, and then, you know, to learn to communicate better with her, because we are constantly communicating with her anyway already. So that means also nothing is between our energy and the mother's energy. And maybe I can hand over to Andrea and talk a bit about the mission statement, the motto for this course, and then moving on to hear more about what is the Divine Mother and what is the Divine Father, which will then Kausuke will take care of.
Okay, thank you, Guntil. So yeah, we were thinking about Navaratri coming. There's 9 days of fire pujas, and then of course the 10th day with Baba's 100 year of his samadhi, which is amazing energy coming up. And for those of us who've been on this path for a while, it's such an interesting cycle throughout the year. You know, we've got Guru Purnima with really focusing on the Guru. Then we go towards the mother, the feminine energy, and we're really focusing on that right now. And then after the mother, we go towards Jesus energy. And then that takes us into Shivaratri, which is the Shiva, silence, divine. And then we go back into Guru Purnima, and we have got this cycle that, you know, and every year, like Swami said, every new moon, full moon, the channels that you've charged and the energy that you're holding gets more solid, and you're more digesting. It gets more integrated and digested into your soul. So every time we go through a Mother Divine, personally for me, the Navaratri time is very deep and very profound. I think because of the fire element, especially. We were talking, the 5 of us, Jeff, Paul, Kausuke, Gunhild, and I, about what we wanted to present and accomplish and share with the class and with the participants. And some of the information was talking about you know, who is Mother Divine? Who is the Divine Feminine? Who's the Divine Masculine? How do those energies play together? And we were talking about how in the past, like before religion really kicked in and before these conventions and in different yugas where the vibration was a lot lighter and higher, it wasn't so dense and dark, we didn't have the labels that we do now. Like mother energy, like Martin was saying, it was more like the creation energy, the fire, the nature, which a lot of you guys are out in nature, which is beautiful because that's the mother's creation. So when we were thinking about the class and how to raise the vibration and how to get closer to her as a group, we were thinking about, again, you know, this concept of before we parsed it out into categories of how to look at things and interpretations of things, the mother was just this energy that in the old days, like thousands and thousands of years ago, the fire was the element that people would use a lot to connect to the mother. And it was before there was like a form of like Mahakali or anything like that. So what we wanted to do, like our mission statement for this class, was kind of to transform our relationship with both the divine feminine and divine masculine energy and bring forth that spark into our lives internally and all around us. Meaning, what that means to me is how can we access that spark of her nature, which is inherent in us, and bring that light out. Mm-hmm. And I know it's kind of a deep topic that I'm mentioning right now in terms of, you know, what that energy really is on a basic level, you know, without all these conditions on top of it. But bringing that spark out and using the spark, the love of the Divine Mother energy, balancing that with the masculine energy, creating that spark, not creating it, but transforming it and recognizing it within ourselves and within each other, and then using that energy of being closer to the mother to help change the reflection and transform ourselves. That to me is kind of the essence of what we're able to do. Whether we all can achieve that or not is really up to us and up to the group and how we participate and how we collaborate. And, you know, what you put in is what you get out. So I'm willing to put in as much as I possibly can so that we actually are able to achieve our mission, which is, again, to transform our relationship, which is a very deep topic. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. That makes sense, and it really covers what all other people shared. Mm-hmm. So to really get closer to her on with all with all channels we can use. So Kausuke, why don't you move on then to talk about what the divine feminine and what the divine masculine representing in us and in the world.
Yeah. Andrea touched on a few points of what the mother is, as well as everybody else. You know, it's that nature energy. It's that nature energy in the fire element. It's also, as Martin said, it can be both beautiful, or it can be her fierce side, which is what we're witnessing, you know, with the Hawaii, with the volcano, Hurricane Florence on the East Coast, things like that. So she is both sides of the nature aspect. The thing that came to our minds as we were discussing this is really how do we each perceive what the divine masculine and the divine feminine mean to us? I mean, over time, my understanding has shifted and changed. The more I learn, the more I meditate, the more I connect, the more we have satsang, that has changed. When I was younger, I grew up Catholic, and when I was 14, 15, I started looking around and going, well, where's the feminine to all this? We had two pretty much aspects that you could be: Mother Mary, that they didn't give her any credit for, and Mary Magdalene, which they really denigrated her for, and in the way to be able to keep that divine feminine down. And so I started really searching for some answers, because I looked around in the nature and realized in all of nature, you see the male and the female. Everything's reproductive. I mean, it's you can't keep the creation going without the male and female, without it ending. So it started this whole journey to really discover what is the divine masculine, what is the divine feminine. And I want to propose that people, over the course of the week, before we get into the first class, which is really getting to the mother to really know who we are and developing the soul frequencies, so that she is able to really say, oh yeah, she turns around and she recognizes, hey, there's my child. Hey, maybe we should start having a conversation here. How do we change that to where that can happen, this communication, like everybody's saying? We all want to have this relationship, and to formulate that relationship in stronger ways, to where eventually, given God's grace and the Guru's grace, we will be like Swami Kaleshwar, having a one-on-one conversation with her. Unless people are already having that and they're just holding out and telling us. So what I really want to ask people to do is maybe take some time out this week and say, well, how am I perceiving the divine feminine? What does that mean? For some men, because it's so prevalent and coming out now, that maybe it sparks some fear, or maybe it sparks some anger, or maybe, some relationships they've had has not had a full clear picture of what that means. And so they've been, had this concept of divine feminine brought into them that gives them a negative connotation. Or for instance, the divine masculine, how is that playing out? I mean, the masculine energy has been very prevalent for ages. And so as women, how does that make us feel? Ultimately, as we're going through this course, what we're trying to do is balance out this aspect of divine masculine and divine feminine, like Paul showed us. When you start shifting and changing the relationship with one, the other one also is there and coming up. And it's always like this balancing out. As one comes up, the other one comes up, and it goes back and forth. But it's always trying to find this place of homeostasis or equilibrium within ourselves. When I was younger, I had shut off a lot of my emotional feelings. And I remember I was doing dog agility with my dog. And it's very interesting when you're working with animals, because they are part of the creation energy, and they will teach you a lot as well. Andrea with her new puppy. So as I was working, someone said, no, you need to use your left hand, because I'm predominantly right hand. And I was like, what other hand? There's only the right. And so we have to start taking a look at it. Also manifests where our imbalances are within our own body. So I had to start really taking a look at what that meant: suppressed, feelings, suppressed anger, suppressed of that divine feminine aspect, and start really working on balance. So over this next week, please take a look at how you're viewing both of these aspects, from a personal aspect, maybe from like a starting point where you started recognizing that there is this divine masculine, divine feminine, and how it's gone over a period of time. You're understanding how it's changed and developed, and where you want to continue to understand and improve the balancing of these aspects. Because if we don't do that, I mean, we take a look at how around us in our planet and the relationships between men and women, and how we're interacting, how can we collectively start shifting that so that now we start communicating and honoring and empowering each other so that those unique divine qualities that are in us, that are our birthright, can come forward so that we can shift the planet and the understanding. Does anybody else have anything to add to that? I mean,
yeah, Kelsey, can I just like to jump in and say something here? This is, I don't want us to get confused. This is not necessarily about gender. There's an aspect there, but
right.
What you're talking about is energies.
Yes, energies.
These are energies that are within everyone. And it doesn't matter whether you're male or female or anything in between. This is about the energies that are in all of us and balancing those energies between our divine feminine and our divine masculine. And so I don't want there to be confusion there that this is some gender specific thing.
No, it's not a gender specific, but I think that in order to move forward, we just have to do a little inquiry, personal inquiry, because that will come up through the course of how we are relating within ourselves as well as outwardly. And yes, it's all about energy and how we connect to these aspects of creation, the Shiva Shakti energies. So it's just a little inquiry, that's all. And it's a reference point of taking stock of where we are and where, what we want to maybe do more inquiry within the concept of this course.
Yeah, and if I could add on to that, you guys, for those who are, we've been, like I was saying, the 5 of us have been talking about this a lot, about how we want to structure the course. And the first week, starting next week, we're actually going to focus a lot on what is the divine feminine, what is the divine masculine, what's that fragrance like? And so I think, Kausuke, you're saying like, hey, start thinking about it, like, because we all come from different backgrounds, you know? I mean, there may be people on the call next week who might not even know who Swami is. So we all come from different backgrounds. This is just an introduction. And so far, everybody here knows who Swami is, and we have a background of how he looked at the mother. And we'll talk a lot about how his relationship with Mother Divine. But, you know, how do I perceive the divine masculine energy? What are some aspects of a wounded self versus a healthy, exalted, enlightened self that looks at divine feminine, looks at divine masculine? How are those playing out in my life? How aware am I of these different qualities, and how am I balancing them? And how do I see them out in nature reflecting to me? That type of inquiry, I think, is important to actually be aware of who we are, where we're at, so we can say, hey, where do we want to go? And use the energy for Navaratri with the fire element of what do we want to transform, if that's possible, through the collaboration with each other and also with her grace, and through understanding and talking as a group. Like Swami always was like, sharing is caring, and everybody like be honest, be open, be transparent, and talk about things as a group. And so, you know, not to be like some type of a therapy thing, but just saying, you know, the more we can be honestly sharing, the more we can get out of it. So, you know, without going into too much detail today, because it's going to be, we have like all 4 weeks are structured with what each topic is, but the first week again is going to be really focused on your vibration, raising your vibration, recognizing the mother with your vibration. And so the background of that is, what is divine feminine? What is divine masculine? What is that energy? How do you perceive it in your life? So we'll talk a lot more about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you, Andrea. And we will encourage everybody to start spiritual journaling if you didn't do it already. And we will, everybody who sends us his or her email or who signed up will receive an email with a very simple outline, like a Word document, how that could look like. Because you know, it's good to remember a lot of things, but we sometimes don't know what we don't know. And this course is not just starting and ending. So it will create also kind of a platform for you, or really good ways to move on. And sometimes it really helps to recall certain things. And it's not only about the recording, it's about, what did I write down? What kind of questions did I have? Did they get answered? What did I learn over these 4 weeks? Because sometimes we get an answer to a question and then the real answer unfolds only 2 weeks later. So it will be about you collecting your questions, asking those questions, but also sharing insights. And we will use storytelling. It doesn't mean that we will then in every session have 1.5 hours to listen to somebody. It's not about that. It is linking to each other's experiences, because that lifts us all, because our soul gets impressed and impacted by that, what we are hearing. And as we are listening to divine words, when we're listening, for example, to the opening prayers, or we pray ourselves, we do mantras, we listen to the divine music, etc. So all those things impact our soul vibration and lifts us, as Paul was explaining in the beginning. It's not about the balance, one, you know, goes down, one, the other one goes up. It's about lifting all aspects we were just discussing in ourselves, and that helps us to get a different reflection also from nature. Paul.
And also, you know, we'll be introducing some very powerful tools that Sri Kaleshwar brought into the creation, that allows us to more powerfully, you know, access these channels. And, you know, as part of the course, it's to introduce the positive, and also to really reflect upon, you know, when you start to understand the nature and her power, you know, there's going to be some challenges and some tests. You know, if you have any type of layer over the heart, you know, the mother wants to communicate to you, and she does so through the heart. So, you know, if she sees that there is a scar there and she's not getting through, she's going to reach in and she's going to pull out that layer. And it may not be so easy. It can be very challenging, because when the mother comes, you know, it kind of, our whole system vibrates. So there's an element, like what Andrea said, the first class is about raising and strengthening your personal the stamina, to when that mother energy comes, you know, you can stand in that energy and dive more deeply.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I want to add to that, Paul. It's so, we're going to talk about this a lot, but we're also going to give some tools of how we can do these things. There's different meditations that we can do. There's practical things of how we can achieve this, and that's what we're going to be offering in week 3. Is how do we do this through our practice? There's this transformation that we'd like to occur. it could be even called healing. We need to heal ourselves. We need to heal our relationship to our own physical mother, most of us. We need to heal the relationship with Mother Divine. And how do we do that? So we're going to be offering tools and processes and practical things that we can do to achieve that transformation and that healing within ourselves, to bring up our soul energy, our soul frequency, so that Mother is going to see us, is going to recognize us.
Also, I think just adding to that is when we do a group process, there is, in a group, the energy builds, and it helps, like what I forget who said, maybe Andrea, we are all lifted up together. So just to know that there's all these tools that are given are also done in the context of a group, so that we can all help each other raise our vibrations and be able to go deeper into this understanding and this connection that we have with the Divine Mother.
Yeah, and as we were talking about how to communicate with her, and also how to really transform this perception of her, of us, you know, that what do we send out into the nature, that involves a bhakti and a shakti part. So, and whoever studied with Sri Kaleshwar or studied with some of his teachers knows that the shakti aspect is something we focus on. Bhakti is anyway given. Of course, we do bhajans and we do service to other people in the world and all those things. But the Shakti part is also what Jeff was also mentioning, to do a group process, to use the tools which have been shared with us. And it's about practicing, because otherwise we will not have an impact on the world around us. We will not change anything. So it is by being disciplined also about applying what we have learned. So a joint process is one step towards it. So, and there will be the question coming up in the following week, then afterwards, what you just shared, is what you want to transform, what you really want to work on. What is this one thing, or what are the two things you want to work on? What do you want to give to the fire during the Navaratri time, when you can either physically or maybe also virtually attend all the fire pujas which will be done. So, and over all the years, a lot of us worked on our blogs, and sometimes really triggering other people's blogs, because that seems to be the easier part to do that. So, and how often did people press the red button at yours, or when did you just buy into something, what we call the negative spiral? But what we also want to share is when you didn't do it. When did you choose, maybe unconsciously or consciously, not to follow that road, you know, really to do something differently? Sometimes by just walking away, but sometimes really sending love, you know. And we heard that in the beginning, as somebody shared, I want to love Mother even more. And sometimes, you know, some people are really easy to love and some are not. But to send out the love, and love is the best weapon, but love works best with power. And that's what scares us sometimes, that love is a real power. But love has the power of Shakti. So, and to use that well, and that means also how we can practically purify ourselves, that we can react and act differently in that world. And what does it change also in view to the reflection of nature? So, and that is why, again, sorry, I repeat myself, why we write down things. At what point in time did we get different reflections? When did people react to us differently? Because at the end of the day, it's about when do we know that something has changed or transformed into something different? And how do we recognize that others know? And then how is it, how, you know, does our relationship with the mother develop, and how can we communicate better? So, and that is why we also invite all our divine friends and divine souls to help us with that, to download this blueprint of divine perfection. Andrea.
Wow, Gunhild, thank you. That was beautiful. So I hope everybody on the call gets a sense of the content. We do have a weekly breakdown. The first week we talked about, we're going to go really into what's the soul vibration, your unique vibration. How can you access your unique vibration with Mother Divine? Who is the Divine Masculine? Who is the Divine Feminine? What are those aspects? And talk really in depth about that, not just from a personality or gender, but really deep. The second week, we're going to really talk about strengthening your internal connection and what are the layers and the blocks and the obstacles preventing you from accessing that. So a really key takeaway that everyone's going to get from this course is you have the potential to strengthen your bond with Mother Divine and with the Divine Masculine energy, which will help you in your life. So week 2, we're going to talk about strengthening, talking about the womb chakra, talking about healing, talking about your own mother relationship, stuff like that, stuff that we have to go into to really understand the mother's vibration and energy. And then, like Jeff said, week 3, we're going to talk about transforming. What do we want to transform moving into Navaratri? How do we want to take advantage of the fire element, that primordial Shakti energy? And then week 4, after Navaratri, after Baba's Samadhi, after those 10 days of fire pujas, or looking at a candle to connect with the flame, the eternal light that connects us all, that spark inside us. At the end of that, the fourth week, we'll talk about, you know, how do we co-create? How do we move forward? How do we continue to transform and bring the vibration up on the planet and things like that? So the 4th week will be really kind of a finishing and moving forward. So with all that said, and with all of us talking so much already in the beginning here, it would be very beautiful and wonderful if anybody on the call, Prasad, Kay, Lisa, the folks who joined from Europe, probably some folks from London, Martin, anybody on the call, please let us know how this sounds, how it feels, and any questions you might have, and anything that, based on what we're saying, maybe there's something you'd like to add to it or anything like that. Because really, this is a collaboration and all of us are kind of like, we're in this together kind of feeling, you know?
You're asking is, right now, after hearing what this course is going to offer, does anybody have any questions or feedback or things that have come to their mind? Any thoughts?
Yeah, and also, like, how does it sound? Is it compelling? Is it interesting? Do you guys want to participate with us on this journey?
In our last course, at the end of our last course, we did have a sign from the mother after the course that some lingams at Paul's temple began to bleed some Amruta. And so there's some recordings of that on his site, and I encourage you to go watch it. It's a beautiful thing.
So just a reflection for everybody, as Andrea was talking, there was a blue jay that landed on the roof of my neighbor's house right outside my window that had a broken leg. So I was just sending it, which is also a reflection of the nature, because the nature comes in the animals. So it's good about healing. So sending lots of love and healing that bird, but it also is kind of, to me, a little bit of a sign of how we're going to go through a healing process within ourselves, and then ultimately how we change and transform the planet.
Mm-hmm. Paul, you want to add something?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that that the Shirdi Sai Temple, it, you know, has a couple lingams in the temple, just to clarify, that a week before Guru Purnima, as a result of the Guru Purnima course, and it's not to say anything other than the nature, the way it reflects, and the way that it really shows you that that your intention is manifest. That the fact that that happened was a result of the Guru Purnima course, and the group intention and the outcome that we wanted to have was manifest in the nature. And we'll be doing the same thing for this upcoming Mother Divine course. I mean, for us that have been trying to prepare for this course, the energy has been really intense. And, you know, it's been really challenging. It brings up so much. And then because we're so used to it, we recognize that, okay, Mother Divine is responding to our desire to have this course, to bring this knowledge forward and to bring this energy forward. Because really that's what it's about. It's about your deep-seated heart's desire and putting a collective, like Kalski said, it's putting that collective intention and putting it like a laser beam into the creation. Both the male and the female, in combination and reaction to that intention, creates a spark. And that spark could manifest in many different ways for many different people on this course. And that's the real amazing part of it. It's everybody's soul vibrations really have an impact for what we call transformation, which is taking us out of the normal state of consciousness, normal soul vibration, to a higher frequency. You know, and that's really where the reality exists. You know, it's not the pain that we feel on a day-to-day basis. It's not the struggles that we feel in our relationships. There is a divine thread that we're all trying to connect to, and that's what we hope will happen as a result of this course.
Thank you, Paul. And you know, kind of looking at the reflection of the nature of Mother Nature, do we remember when Swami was teaching one of a major course between Christmas and New Year? I think it was in 2004, when this huge tsunami hit a lot of coasts and damaging a lot of you know, coasts, and also, you know, it costs a lot of people their lives. And Martin just put into the chat, why don't we use the time here to meditate for the storms and typhoons which are just going on in the world, and you know, hitting several areas around the globe, and using our wonderful energy we built up, because it's very, you know, kind of this very strong energy we created here during this first call. And you said, well, before we finish this class and have a couple of minutes dedicated to all people and all souls who are in need.
That's a beautiful idea. That's one thing about Sri Kaleshwar University that kind of, if people are wondering, all these different teachers and stuff, who's Sri Kaleshwar University? How is it different from all these other centers and groups? One thing that we're really focused on is the practical implementation and the practical aspects, and how we can use the divine energy to actually make significant practical changes in our lives. And so Martin's suggestion is very, very in line with what our goals are. And I think it's brilliant to say, hey, you know, all the time when we're coming together and we're raising the vibration, let's shoot the arrow and hit the target and start implementing all the time. We don't have to wait until the end. We can do it every single class. We're going to be, you know, digesting the divine energy and then implementing it, a practical application all the time. So I think that's a great idea.
Any more comments or questions right now? Just unmute yourself and speak. Okay. So why don't we wrap up and go into a couple of minutes of meditation?
Should we use what kind of mantra, just our personal mantra? Or
what comes to mind, Kausiki?
Guru Guru Parama Guru, just settling down the nature, and you know, the East Coast as well as over in the Pacific. Everybody could do that.
It sounds great. Okay, so we will then finish, this call in silence. And thank you very much for joining and your contributions and questions. And we want to have more of those. You will hear from us also prior to the start of next year's lectures. And well, thank you everybody. And let's go into meditation.
A 5-minute meditation?
Yeah.
Shanti, Shanti,
Shanti,
Loka
Namaskar.
Sukhino
Sukhino.
Bhavantu, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you, everyone. Go ahead. Thanks, everyone. Great to see you. We look forward to seeing you next week on the next class of the course.